Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Amna Husain, board certified pediatrician, board certified lactation consultant, and mom. Today we're going to be talking about the safest things to consider when setting up your baby's nursery. So everyone, we have definitely talked about must-have items for your baby registry. We've even discussed things that I don't recommend or things that aren't necessary. We've talked about safety in the past, but we've never really gone through the most common items that people put in nurseries and talked about if they're necessary, if they're safe, and if there's a safe way to incorporate them. And that's what this video is going to be about. Now, you might know that I'm already a mom to 2 girls, but I'm actually expecting my 3rd little one. And we are definitely in the process of very slowly setting up the baby's room. Now, obviously, in the first coming days, and this is really important for parents to know, babies should be sleeping with the parents in the parents' room, not in the parents' bed. So not co-bedding, not sleeping in the same bed. Baby needs their own safe place to sleep without pillows, without blankets, without bumpers, whether that be a crib or a bassinet. So right now, the baby's room is kind of a shell of a room. We're definitely keeping the baby's clothes in there. We'll probably be keeping diapers in there. There is a bathroom that's connected that will keep the baby's bathtub in there and baby's bathing products in there. But when it comes to sleep, the crib that I've used for the last few years is still going to be coming into our room. And then after 6 months of age, then baby will transition to their own room. And that's kind of what I've been able to do with both of my 2 older girls. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you, again, share the room with baby. Don't share the bed. Share the room so that you're able to attend to baby's needs. Some parents like to play this by ear. You know, they might put the crib in the room and do naps there, but then put the bassinet in their room and allow nighttime feeds to occur there. I personally did not want to have baby adjust to 2 different sleeping places. I was just team crib from the beginning, from the day 1 of life. And again, it's totally safe. So as long as it's a flat mattress, there's nothing else in the crib, you are solid. Now, while we're on that note, let's talk about things that can be a hazard when around the crib. Thing number 1 is mobiles. Now, mobiles are the classic item that we've seen from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s on cribs, and we've seen it even on our own cribs and pictures when we were younger. These are not safe, unfortunately. So children can definitely pull on these, especially as they get older. They can become entangled. They can actually risk injury as well. So we don't recommend putting a mobile in the crib. Some people do like the mobile still and would like to incorporate it. So in that case, I say, hey, maybe put it on the changing table. That might be a good option. We were gifted a Winnie the Pooh mobile, and for my oldest, the nursery theme was Winnie the Pooh. For baby number 3, there is no theme. There is just a room. That's what happens, right? We just kind of lose our drive at the end of the day, unfortunately. So we had this mobile, and I ended up never really hanging it up. It was really cute, and they, actually baby number 2 played with it when she was a toddler, supervised, but we ended up just giving it away, and actually we didn't need it, and someone else wanted it around for their changing table, so we gave it to a friend. So that's really important to consider when putting a mobile in your baby's room or in your nursery, where you're putting it, do you need to put it there, and trying to avoid putting it in unsafe places like a crib. Other things that I would recommend being wary of are cords, so baby monitors. My baby monitor also has a cord, and I would not recommend putting it attached to the crib because these cords are things that kids can pull, they can wrap around their neck, they can chew, things that are completely not safe. So instead, put it either mounted in an area or out of reach from the child. So the cords are not going to be something they can pull on. Speaking of cords, let's talk about windows. Now, blinds and window shades oftentimes have a cord or a drawstring. Now, in the last couple of years, this industry has gotten a lot better about shortening the cords, but sometimes these cords can be very long. And they can actually, again, pose a strangulation risk for the baby, especially as baby gets older and is crawling and moving everywhere. Now, none of us really want to deal with expensive renovations, so generally If you are baby proofing your child's nursery and you get one chance to really renovate, especially if you're living in an older home, definitely advise kind of going through and taking a look at some of these older touches. For example, windows and their shades. Now, there are options to get cordless window blinds. And again, that might be something that's an option for you, but generally we try to keep the strings of the blinds out of reach of the child. Definitely something to consider. When it comes to other items, think about electrical outlets. So you would literally consider every outlet in the baby's room that could be accessible and make sure that there are outlet covers on the outlets. When the baby's a newborn, would they be sticking their finger in? No, probably not. But as they get older, and again, more explorative, you're definitely going to want to cover these outlets. So it's a good time to just go ahead and do it now before baby arrives. Other things you'll want to baby-proof and consider: medications, diaper creams, ointments. But we oftentimes, if their baby has a rash, are going to keep them right at the changing table or the changing table station. So consider trying to keep medications out of hand or out of the way. Put them in a place that even as the child continues to grow, they won't be able to reach. And again, it's really important to point out that in the newborn days, they may not be reaching for these items, but you're trying to do everything you can and allow your room to grow with the child, grow with the baby. Other things, you'll want to mount your furniture. Your child may not come home from the hospital ready to play around with the drawers and pull things out and grab onto furniture and try to climb it. But that doesn't mean that that's forever, especially as your child grows older. So make sure that your furniture is mounted to the wall. Other things that are mounted to the wall safely. Think of wall decor. So any heavy pieces of art or heavy framed work, do not hang that above the baby's crib, because that can actually fall down onto baby and hurt baby. It's a rare chance that it could happen, but it can absolutely happen, especially if the baby can stand up in their crib and mess with it. Instead, I would recommend hanging the heavy artwork or heavy nursery decor on other walls and out of reach of the baby. Definitely not above the crib. And generally, I'm a big fan of like a wall decal, especially on the wall that is touching the crib, because that's something that really is lightweight and not going to hurt the baby. One last thing that I just want to point out to parents here, we've talked about a lot of safety items, is that parents don't consider that this industry is unregulated. Yes, we as pediatricians are trying to recommend different items and remind you about safety measures, but on the flip side of things, there's new companies being created every day, every week, coming out with new products that we can't really vouch for their safety, and yet they're put out on the market and they're said that they're safe, and they're in fact not. For example, amber teething necklaces, which serve as not only a strangulation risk, but a choking hazard. This is important to consider. Other items, some of these baby remedies or different vitamins that people recommend for babies, you would think that it's put on the market, so it must be safe, and that's not necessarily true. The only things that would be safe would be what vitamins and medications and items that are recommended by your pediatrician. For example, something like vitamin D, which we know is safe and recommended for children. But I see a lot of other supplements put out on the market saying that they'll help your baby sleep. Well, why are they out on the market? Why is this sleep sack that's weighted out on the market for parents to buy for their child if it's not safe? Again, an unregulated industry that we're trying to catch up to and recall appropriately. And the FDA has definitely made some recalls in the past few months and years on a lot of these baby items that have been released on the market, and then we find out later that they're not safe. They're actually not safe at all. And so please, please, please make sure you talk to your pediatrician beforehand. I hope this video was helpful. Please give it a thumbs up if it is. Definitely hit like and subscribe, and we're going to bring you more content like this in the future. Stick around for next week. Bye.